And my mom turns to me when our Cails were on, and she just bawled. And she's like, I'm so proud of you. And it's like, that's what it took. Me on, like, the drums I built on TV for you to realize, like, I give a shit about this.
Behind every hit song is an undeniable beat. So why doesn't anyone talk to the drummer about it? We're getting behind the kit with some of the best drummers in North America. This is Drummer to Drummer.
How did you get started doing what you're doing?
I always had this kind of fascination with drums and being a drummer and being in a band and going on tour, so much so that when I was in high school, and I have very vivid memories of like the 11th grade when everyone was like applying for college and university, people being like, so what are you doing next year? And I would literally just go, going on tour. That's it, I'm going on tour. I remember being not even 14, maybe 13, and going up to Mike from Cancer Bats, going up to Mikey and being like, after a show at Mavericks in Ottawa, which is where I'm originally from, and saying, hey man, if you ever need a drum tech, like, I'm your guy. I was 13 at the time. But I had this, fascination of being the drum guy. And guys would have me come, when I lived in Ottawa, would have me come to the recording sessions, tune their drums. I was like, I'm just gonna build a snare drum. Built a snare drum that weekend, like went on Kijiji, bought like a router table, bought a drill press, and from there, played it at a show, and then the word kind of started going around like the Ottawa punk scene, hardcore scene. Oh, can you build me a snare drum? Yeah, just like give me the cost of whatever the materials would be, and I'll build you one. Our Cails were playing an Ottawa U Frosh concert, and my friend who runs a security company said, hey, we need a guy who can open and close the gate for the stage, or the crowd surfers. So when you crowd surf, they pick you up, and then they toss you to the side, and they needed someone to open the gate and close the gate. That was my job.
That's your job.
That was my job. I got paid $50 for, I think, 6 hours. Something like that, like 50 bucks cash, here you go. After the show, I was having a smoke, and I ran into Tim, our Cails drummer, and I said, hey man, I really like your Gretsch kit. And he goes, how do you know it's a Gretsch kit? Like, there's no logo on the front kick drum. I'm like, oh, I could tell from the lugs, and I could see the badge from where I was. And he goes, you're a nerd. I'm like, yeah. Actually, I build drums, and I would love to like have you try out some drums. And he's like, yeah, take my number down. Like, was super kind, talked to me for like 10 minutes. And from there, maybe a week later, the band that I was in at the time was playing Toronto. So we drove overnight from Ottawa, woke up at our buddy's place in Toronto, and I texted Tim. I said, hey, we're playing at Sneaky D's or something tonight, wherever we were playing. Let me know if you want to come to the show, and I'll get you in. And he responded back, he goes, what are you doing right now? I'm like, oh, I'm just at my buddy's place. He's like, where's your buddy's place? I'm like, Parkdale. He's like, you want to go get brunch? Comes, picks me up, takes me, like, this is the kind of stand-up guy he is.
Yeah, of course.
Like, at the time, I was a 19-year-old kid who, I was a twerp.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, the drummer from our Cails wants to, like, go have brunch with me. So we went and had brunch, talked, and he was like, yeah, next time I'm in Ottawa, I'd love to try out a drum kit, like, we'll make it happen. Went back to Ottawa maybe the next day or the day after that, and I went on their Facebook page and saw that they were playing the University of Guelph the next weekend. So I texted him, I said, hey, could I bring you a drum kit and pick you up and drive you to the Guelph show and back? And he was like, oh no, you don't have to do that. I was like, no, like, I want to do it. Please, like, let me do it. And I'll drum tech for you for free for the show. And he's like, okay, like, sure, cool. Picked him up the next day, drove him to the show, he tried out the drums, and then after the show, he's like, I'm in, dude. Like, I'll take a kit. One of my friends, Mike, his band came through on tour. And because we were all band dudes living at this house, we'd always put bands up. Mm-hmm. And he came through and he's like, hey, my dad has this warehouse space in Waterloo. There's an upper part, which this is one half of it that we're in right now. Mm-hmm. Come check it out next time you're in Toronto. So a week later, I was in Toronto, finished up my session at 11. I was like, hey, can we meet at 12:30? I can be in Waterloo for 12:30 tonight. He goes, yeah, no worries. I came and checked it out. I'm like, this is amazing, dude. Ended up being like super affordable. I went back to Ottawa 2 days later, went to my roommates. I said, I'm really sorry, guys, but like, I need to make this move, and I think I need to make this move now instead of what I was planning to a year from now. Yeah. Like, this is an opportunity. I got to do it. Fast forward almost 2 years now, I'm still here, and business is better than ever. I'm building more drums than I ever have. I'm the luckiest person in the world to have amazing artists supporting me and playing my drums, and also hiring me to tech their records or for them live. So it's been a whirlwind for 4 years, but I'm very humbled about it and very thankful that people, you know, can put their trust in a 23-year-old kid.
With only 2 years under your belt, what would be your crowning achievement? What would be your biggest memory?
Arkells played the Junos in Hamilton. This would have been 2 years ago, maybe 3. I'm not really good with timing, but and we all sat down in the living room, and my mom turns to me when Arkells were on, and she just bawled, and she's like, "I'm so proud of you." And it's like that's what it took. Me on like the drums I built on TV, for you to realize like I give a shit about this. Drum teching for Gord Downey's Secret Path shows for Dave Hamlin, his drummer. That was an unbelievable, unforgettable experience. There's been a lot of like crazy things where it's like you don't realize when it's happening, but then you like 2 days later you're like,
Yeah.
I was a part of that, and then it's gone.
Showboat. It's gonna be like the blackout where the credits happen, and then we're gonna kick in and be like, I didn't even get to do what I got.